Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Creative Corner. Today, in honor of Native American Heritage Month, we are going to be making some dream catchers. This workshop is a little long, so I'm going to do some post edits as well as maybe some time lapses to kind of condense the time. But before we go ahead and get started in today's workshop, I am going to be going over some of the materials we'll be using today. So the materials we'll be using today, I have on my table, but before I go over what we'll need, I do have some supply kits available to come pick up. Just give us a phone call or visit our website, OFPL.online. Go through our curbside checkout services form to get one of these lovely little kits for the Dreamcatchers. But what you'll need is some jewelry or crafting wire, some string. I have a variety of wooden beads, but if you want to use glass beads, you're more than welcome to do that. Some leather suede. Also some feathers. Some additional things you'll need is a pair of scissors, wire cutters, a ruler or yardstick if you have one. I also have off to the side my hot glue guns and some extra hot glue sticks. And this is the Dreamcatcher that I made last year for our in-person demonstration. So this is with the glass beads, and then this is our demonstration Dreamcatcher we'll be making today. If you decide to do this at home on your own, what you'll need is some crafting wire or jewelry wire. The thicker the wire is, the harder it is to work with. So right now this is just jewelry wire, and then I also have some suede lace off to the side too as well. In the crafting kit that you request, everything's already pre-cut for you. But if you, like I said, if you do this at home, what you'll need is a piece of wire that's 20 inches long, and you'll get the two ends and kind of almost do like a twisty tie, and you'll just tie the two wires together. And once you feel that the wire is nice and twisted, you're going to go ahead and fold this over so it's nice and flush with the wire itself, making yourself a little loop. Now what you want to do with this loop is make a figure 8, and then you're going to fold the loops together. So instead of having one giant circle, you're going to have a nice smaller circle that's a little bit more sturdier. Once you have that, you're going to go ahead and get your suede lace. You're going to unravel it first. And you can get most of these supplies locally at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, I believe Home Depot, but don't quote me on that. And all you need to do is just to get one of the ends of the lace leather. And what I like to do is where the two wires are, I'm going to make a little sandwich and put the leather in between. And then to secure it, I'm going to use my hot glue gun. Just add a tiny dab of glue. Make sure and be careful to not burn yourself. Alright, so we have the beginning. We made a giant circle using the wire, twisted two ends together. Then you're going to take that end, make it nice and flush with the wire itself. So you have a nice circle. Take the circle, make a figure 8 with it, and then just fold it in half. So that way we have a nice small circle that's a little bit more sturdier. And then we're going to attach the lace leather to it. Once you've done that, All you need to do is just go ahead and wrap the lace around the wire. And this step usually takes the longest because you have to go from the start and work your way all the way around it. And I like to keep my lace in a bunch so it's easier to work through the loop. And while you're doing this, you want to make sure to try to keep a nice circular shape for the wire itself. And we'll go ahead and do a nice little review before we jump forward. Okay, so once you got your wires situated, you're gonna take the lace itself, make a sandwich with the 2 wires. So you have your 2 wires and then you put your lace in between. Then I added a tiny drop of hot glue and then I folded the lace over on itself so that way it creates a clasp in between the wire itself. And then you're just gonna get the leather and wrap it around along the wire. And you can see I already started on the beginning. And you're going to work all the way around the circle until you reach the very end. I'm not going to force you to watch me do this, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump forward and we'll see you here. Great, so we're done. Just to give you a recap, we did the wire and then we did the leather suede. The one thing that I did off camera was I cut the suede because I had a very long extra piece, and then I used some hot glue to glue down that piece to the overall circle. Up next, we're going to go ahead and work on the webbing for the Dreamcatcher, as well as the feather pieces that go on the outside too as well. So we just move this off to the side. So what you'll need is the Dreamcatcher itself that you're working on, some string. Now the string itself, I'm using twine, but if you want, you're more than welcome to use thinner string. I'm just using twine for the demonstration purposes. It's easier to see than the thinner string that you would want to work with. And then the last component that you'll need is some suede leather pieces. I cut these off camera too as well, but I have a 6-inch piece as well as 2 4-inch pieces. And then of course you'll need your accessories, your feathers and your beads, but we'll get to that part here in a bit. I will go ahead and set those off to the side, and I'm going to work with the string. Now you can choose to glue this down onto your ring. You don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just so that way I don't lose the tension on the string itself. So I'm just going to glue the twine on the inner circle part, and be careful if you use hot glue because you might burn yourself. So I have the string I have the string glued to the inner part of the circle that we just made with the wire and the leather, the suede leather lace. Gosh, it's a tongue twister. Okay, so with your string, what you want to do is you're going to get the string, put it underneath the circle itself. You're going to wrap it up and over and through this loop that we just made. Oh gosh. And then you just pull the rest of the string through. And for this first set of loops that we're going to make, you kind of want the tension to be loose, because as we work our way towards the middle, we're going to keep pulling and it's going to tighten up the loops itself. So again, You're gonna bring it underneath the loop of the lace. Get your string, bring it up and through this loop that we have here, and just pull the string through. And we're gonna go ahead and make 8 of these all around. So right now this is my second one. And you can judge for yourself the distance between all the loops. I like to keep my distance the same, but it's really up to you. So again, under your leather lace, bring your string up, over, and through the loop of the string and the lace itself, the leather lace. And you're just going to keep doing this the same design. So if we take a look at it, I have my finger here. So the string itself is going to go under the leather lace, up, over, and through the loop of the string and the lace itself. And all you have to do is just pull the string through. Now the string itself, I measured out about a yard's worth, so that's 3 feet. You're not going to use all 3 feet unless you want to, but I just measured out that much just to be on the safe side. And then once you get back up to the top, as I did here, so let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so once you got the outer part, you're going to work your way in, and it's relatively easy. All you have to do is just get the string. Instead of looping it around the outer edge, you're going to loop it on these middle sections. So keeping it a little loose, you're going to go under the string, and then back through this loop that you just made. And on this one, you can kind of pull it a little bit tighter than the outer ones you just made, but you're just going to repeat the same process. I like to use the tip of my fingers to try to keep the string in place while I do this, just so that way it doesn't fall apart. And you're just going to keep repeating this process all around. Now I do have some beads. If you want to incorporate the beads, all you have to do is, before you continue on to your next loop, you're just going to run your bead through. I don't think this string wants to cooperate with me. So I'm going to get a little bit of hot glue and glue the end, just so that way it's a little bit more flatter. All you have to do is just run the string through the bead center. And what I would recommend is putting the bead all the way toward the end of your loop, so that way you don't accidentally incorporate it elsewhere. Now the beads I'm using are wooden because I would like to paint them later on, but you're more than welcome to use glass, any type of bead you have at home. But I do incorporate the wooden beads into the supply kits that we'll be passing out. Okay, now that I got 2 done, I'm going to go ahead and add another bead. I don't know if you can tell, but my outer loop is starting to warp just a tad bit. Make sure you try to keep the circular shape that you're working with. So I'm just going to kind of fix the edges a little. And we're just going to continue this process until we get to the center. Add another bead. If I can get it on. The string is being a little bit difficult. This is what I get for working with twine. Okay. That was an ordeal. Okay, so we're almost done. And like I said, all you need to do is bring it under and through the two loops that we've made. And you need to go ahead and repeat this process all the way until you get towards the center. Or until you run out of string, whichever comes first. And don't forget, this month is Native American Heritage Month. So that's why we're making Dreamcatchers today. If anyone is interested, be sure to visit our website. We do have a small blurb about what Native American Heritage is, the history behind the whole month. Originally, they wanted a day, and it was transformed into a month over this past 100 years or so. I also have some very lovely resources on some film festivals that are being put on. So be sure to check on that. Okay, so since I am nearing the center, I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. I'm going to do the same process I've done previously, except once I bring it through the loop, I'm going to bring it through the center loop and just make a little tie off by bringing everything in like so. I need to pull that nice and tight. And then with the extra string, you're just going to go ahead and use a pair of scissors and cut it off. And then all you have to do is just fix the outer loop as well as the inner design, just to make sure there's no tangles or anything along those lines. Now that we have that done, we'll go ahead and work on these decorative elements on the very bottom of the Dreamcatcher. And in order to do that, I have some feathers, and I also have some beads off to the side, which I'll grab. Okay. So I'm going to get the longest piece, and it's going to go in the middle, and the two shorter pieces, the 4-inch ones, are going to go on the outer side. Where I have the knots toward the top is where I'm going to have my top portion of the Dreamcatcher, and all I want to do is go ahead and tie these leather pieces onto the outer ring of the Dreamcatcher. You can see I tied that one the wrong way, so all I have to do is just undo it and retie it again. If I can grab it. I had the Dreamcatcher facing towards you rather than toward me when I was tying it. So that's why I was upside down. Come on. Okay. So the first one done. Now I just gotta do the other two. I myself like symmetry, so I'm going to try to tie these suede leather pieces in the same direction, the same distance from each other as well. Last but not least, I'm going to do the middle one. Then you just got to fix the shape of your circle. And then I'm going to add some beads. Last but not least, the feathers. Now I'm just going to use the hot glue gun. I'm using fake feathers, so where the stem part is, I'm just going to add a touch bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to glue it directly to the suede pieces. Be careful not to burn yourself. After I glue the pieces, I am sliding down the beads so that way the beads cover the feather stems. And the very last thing you need to do in the supply kit or on your own, you're just gonna get a portion of the lace that you have. I'm gonna shoestring tie it towards the top. If I can. And this is going to be your hanging loop if you decide to hang it up. Okay. Gotta fix the loop. But there you have it. I did this one, the brown one in our today's demo, and then this purple one I did earlier, so that way we have a nice demonstration piece. And then last but not least, I have this last one I did last year for our Native American Heritage Month. So we have 3 different types, one with glass beads and these 2 with wooden beads. Thank you for joining me on today's workshop on Dreamcatchers. We did this very lovely Dreamcatcher during our session today. If you would like, we do have these small Ziploc bags full of all the supplies you need in order to make the Dreamcatcher. But if you want, you're more than welcome to buy the supplies yourself. I will go ahead and put a list of materials in our description below. Be sure to subscribe to all of our social media platforms to get up-to-date information on all of our programs that we have. Tune in next week as we make geometry wall art. Thank you again, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.